How snow ladies bring forth children that pee.
Yep.
That is what I've learned from this episode.
That is the gist of this episode.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Hello, welcome to this week's episode. Jared now watch Inuyasha is episode 103. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady
Hello.
We are discussing season 4, episode 19, or episode 101, entitled "The Snow from 7 Years Past." We're gonna get
There's a lady.
There's a lady. We're gonna get a very brief instance of Moroku backstory and
He's a
mosquitoes.
small child. Oh yeah, the mosquitoes that lead to Moroku getting hit a few times.
Yep.
And there's blood.
Blood.
But he also like feels the butt at one point, like in the middle of the backstory for some reason.
That's just how he be.
That's just how he be.
Mhm.
He's like, well, I'm feeling nostalgic. What if I just grab a booty?
And oh, look at this mosquito on your face again.
Wow.
We begin this episode. Moroku's telling the story about him walking through the snow barefoot and cold, and then
At 11.
and a lady comes and helps him and gets him out of the snow. And he's very grateful for that. And he's telling the story to Songo, and she slaps him at one point. He's like, "Oh, mosquito." He's like, "Oh, okay." And then, like you said,
Well, because he keeps talking about like how beautiful she was and everything, so Sango's being jealous.
and then he touches her butt, and then she slaps him again. And then this time she got the mosquito, so it's fine.
Yay!
Mm-hmm. And then they see a dude who's like got a bunch of snow on him. They're like, "What's going on here? That's weird."
He's all shivery.
They learn about this snow demon who's been tempting men to go with her, and then once you get tempted, you freeze solid. So Moroku's like, "Oh, I'll go take care of this," but then Songo hears the other part about that and is like, "I should go after him
Yeah.
because he is dumb."
Well, and also, thanks
He's
for the
Moroku.
other hit. Thanks for the other head a lot.
We get a brief instance of Kagome and Inuyasha where Kagome is like, "Here I brought some fireworks that I forgot I brought. Look at this sparkler," and our faces are
He's like,
melting.
whoa, how did you do that?
Basically,
Sure, these won't become relevant later in the episode or anything.
no, not at all. Baroku and Songo get caught up in the snow, and Baroku gets tempted by the lady he's like, "Oh, would you bear my children?" And she's like, "Oh, I already have."
I already
He's like,
did.
"Huh? What? What?" Excuse me. And he goes off with her as Songo is very sad.
And also covered in snow.
Covered in snow. Shippo and Kirawa are going to eat some fish, and then Inuyasha and Kagome show up, and Shippo's very sad by this, and then Inuyasha eats a fish, and Shippo's very mad at this.
This entire episode is that Shippo is done with Inuyasha.
Huh.
Like, he just gets so mad at Inuyasha several times. It's like, it's probably earned, honestly.
The people who actually own this shack show up, and are like, because Kagome thinks it's Shippo, or not Shippo, Songo and Moroku, and it's like, no, these are actual people. These are people who own this place. And like, we
He
brought
just
boar
broke
meat.
in their house.
Let's tell you about the snow demon in the area. And they're like, "Oh God, Moroku's gonna get tempted by this," and Inuyasha's like, "No, he's probably not. I don't see why he would." And
Shippo's like, you dummy.
Kagome's like, "Well, he's a Shippo. Songo is infatuated with him," and Shippo's like, "No, don't even bother.
He's
We've
dumb.
told him like hundreds of times by now. He doesn't get it. Let's just whatever." But yeah, they learn about that and head off to go find them.
And they get a special potion.
Yes, the special restorative
Oh, special restorative.
that we
Sorry.
don't learn what it is. Moroku's now taking care of a bunch of babies.
Many, many babies.
He's getting peed on. He's getting snot on his shirt. He's
having to sing and change diapers and
do everything.
feed.
And this lady eventually is like, "Oh yeah, by the way, these aren't your kids. These are just
Yeah.
kids that have been stranded due to the war and everything, and have no mother. So I'm just taking care of them."
No explanation whatsoever of like, this is why I said that this was your kid. Just,
Moroku's just like,
cuz.
"Oh okay."
All right, guess I'll just take care of this baby then.
Inuyasha and the gang find Songo in the snow as Kirara sniffs her out, and they let her drink the special restorative, and she eventually gets all warm again.
And then barfs.
And barfs because like he was like, oh yeah, it has all this stuff in it. She's like, oh, bleh.
Bleh.
They run until they find a barrier, which Inuyasha just slices through, and then they find a big house, and they see Moroku just talking to a baby, is what they presume. But then he turns around, oh my god, it's just two snowballs.
And Inuyasha's like, oh man, of course he would be like that with his baby. And everyone's like, Inuyasha, shut up. But yeah, it's just two snowballs.
It's also just Inuyasha saying things to make Songo mad the whole time, and everyone's like, shut up.
Shut up. Stop.
But yeah, they try to get Moroku back to his senses, but the Snow Maiden comes out and decides to fight them. She brings out her Snow Beast, but also because she finds out that Kagome's got sacred jewel shards on her, so she wants those as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to fight the Snow Beast, who can just restore itself constantly, and that's becoming a struggle for them. The lady goes back to Moroku, and he's like, oh, I heard some commotion out there. That was weird. He's like, oh, some stray dogs are out there. No worries. And then Inuyasha just gets flung into the building and is like, Moroku, snap out of it. And he's like, huh? Oh, Inuyasha, what are you doing here? Try to get you back to your senses. I have never been out of my senses in my life. As he's holding a snowball.
Two snowballs.
And he's like, huh? Snowballs?
Huh? This isn't a baby.
This isn't a baby. The Snow Maiden transforms into a demon, and he puts a talisman on her, and she goes, blah. And she gets very sad. And is like, I hate living here.
This sucks.
And he bonks her. She turns to snow, but they all merge into the Snow Beast. Which they use the special restorative on it.
Mm-hmm.
Dump it on its back. Kagome shoots a fire arrow, which is just a firework arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Lights it on fire, and then Inuyasha kills it with the wind scar, and everyone's happy.
Yay!
And then Moroku's like, yeah, she was probably like a spirit of a lady who got killed in the war and took in the souls of the children who were killed. And then the snow demon came and took her over. That's what happened. Anyways.
But then he's also like, I hope that lady that saved me is somewhere out there. It's like, bro, that was the lady.
And then he gets slapped again. Mosquito.
Yeah.
Mosquito. Look, blood. And then everyone just leaves. They're like, all right, it's time to go.
Like, that's some denial there that he's like, just some lady that definitely wasn't the same lady.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Moroku, get better.
He's got some hope in his heart.
He's got something in his heart.
But that's how we end this episode. Let's talk about our notes real quick.
Okay.
Judging by its appearance, the spirit released from the demon may indeed be the woman Moroku met in the early days of trying to find Naraku. Moroku's flash. Oh, sorry, what?
I was gonna say it's the same lady. It's very clearly the same lady. I don't know what they're trying to pull here.
Moroku's flashback shows him as he was after his father died, meaning his habit of swindling others developed so he could survive. It also means the wind tunnel opens at a certain age, given his hand was uncovered. Or it's just filler and they just didn't bother.
Yeah, I don't remember his hand being uncovered, but that makes sense. He was 11, though.
None of the children are obviously Moroku, since A, none of them were old enough, 6 years old, and B, 7 years ago, Moroku would have only been 11 years old.
Thank you, notes.
Thank you, notes. That's right.
Also, I was just thinking that, like, what if the wind tunnel shows up with puberty? Like, wouldn't that suck?
Oh,
that
would
like
suck.
everything in your life sucks because you're going through puberty, and now you also have a wind tunnel in your hand.
The worst.
That would suck. You got zits in a wind tunnel.
But that's going to do it for this week's episode. Next time, we'll be discussing episode 102, entitled "The Assault on the Wolf Demon Tribe." There we go.
Nailed it.
We are back to the plot.
Plot time.
And we'll meet up with Koga and his pals.
His fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's back to the plot. It's back to plot time.
For now.
For now. But yeah, that's going to do it for us this week. So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool. So where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalanimecheckup.com. And you can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. So join us next week as we are finally out of filler.
Yay!